Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is $3 Theater, and this is my review, my quick thoughts on WandaVision chapter number 5. This, of course, just aired here tonight. I know I have not done a WandaVision review just yet. I feel bad, but I had to talk about this episode. I've been meaning to talk about this episode, but this episode to me, this is the reason why people love Marvel. This is the reason why people are losing their mind over WandaVision, why it is actually, for the very first Marvel Studios television show, it's knocking it out of the park. It's firing on all cylinders. It's establishing a mystery. It's establishing all these things. That is a very slow burn to get to the end, but it is a very, very satisfying burn to get there. This episode, obviously, picking up off of last week's where we got a bit of a prequel, we got a bit of a lead into what's going on. It gives us a bit more. What I loved about it was we're starting to see that Wanda's world is cracking, but we've also learned just how long she's been there. We learned that she's been there for 9 days. In 9 days, she has not only manufactured multiple decades, like completely in thin air, out of thin air, whatever you want to say. She's manufactured the children. She's created them. They've now aged to age 10. They're rapidly aging, but there's a reason for that too. And of course, Vision is starting to figure it out. His subconscious is starting to figure it out, which means that in my mind, her subconscious is starting to lose control. The overall idea behind this, which she did finally admit tonight, that she didn't know how it happened. But we learned that she broke into a sword base and she stole Vision's body. And then she brought him to this town and she created this bubble, this anomaly. He's now at a place where he's trying to figure it out and he doesn't understand because nothing about him is before they arrived in that city. Because he's dead. Everything that he feels, everything that he is experiencing is because of her. She created him. She brought him back to life. But it's also, I believe, her subconscious at work. And of course, on the outside, we're starting to really, see what's going on with Sword, especially after Monica Rambeau came back. We're starting to see them trying to figure out how to break into the anomaly, how to stop Wanda. But they figured out that if they bring in something that was manufactured into the decade of which the show is currently in this episode, the 1980s, I thought that was interesting. They flew an old 1980s style drone into Westview, and it was able to bypass the anomaly, which means that as they get closer to catching up with real time, they will be able to enter it on their own, or they will be able to, at least at that point, have more access to it. And that is kind of a ticking time bomb for Wanda, because Wanda, I'm not too sure at this point, fully understands that, but she knows she can be breached, which means that there is a security fault somewhere. And that's what happened in episode 2 with the beekeeper. He got in and she wasn't expecting that. And so her carefully crafted world is starting to crack. And what happens after that, we have no idea. But obviously the big thing with this episode had a lot to do with family first, right? Family forever. And she's just trying to live with her boys, live with Vision. But she's not going to be able to control her children rapidly advancing in age. And that was something else too when they encountered Sparky and Sparky died from eating leaves, which I think is going to tie into something. She told them, do not age. Do not advance your age. So they have autonomy to do that. In her world, they have autonomy, which is fascinating. It's fascinating that these are sentient beings created out of quite literally nothing. Because Vision doesn't even have a dick, right? We've kind of realized that. I mean, Joss Whedon wanted him to. But everything is growing and it's taking its toll on the people who live in the city. Especially Norm. That was fascinating, getting to see him snap out of that suppressive state and admit that he's not in control, that he's in pain. He just wants to call his family. Super fascinating stuff. But what I loved was the fact that Vision is pushing back. And like I said, that's the subconscious. That is the subconscious. That's Wanda's subconscious that is creeping in. Vision is going to be that thing she's trying to control. And that's what's going to ultimately bring the downfall. But now we have a new player in the game. The fact that they brought in Evan Peters as Pietro. I mean, he had the hair of Aaron Taylor Johnson from Age of Ultron. You know, I mean, we all knew that it was him. If you paid attention to any of the leaks, you know that it's him. But the fact that Darcy says she recast Pietro, that was interesting. Now, is that going to be because he is in fact Mephisto? I don't know. I've heard competing theories from different people. Or is it, again, her subconscious protecting herself? Because earlier on in the episode, when the boys asked her if she had a brother, she said yes. And that he was a long ways away. Not that he was dead, but that he was a long ways away. And since her children seem to know that she can resurrect the dead, and Agnes was shocked and learning that particular bit of information, asking earnestly, wait, you can do that? You can do that? So clearly, the people in the town that are under her control, they have moments where they can kind of get through. But they're moments, I think, of pure emotion, whether it's agony, whether it is fear. At some point, she has this limited control. They're able to wriggle free for a brief second. Like in the first episode, when the Vision's boss was choking, and Deborah Jo Rupp was like, stop it. And she kept looking at Wanda, stop it. Stop it. Knowing that this man is choking, knowing that he is dying, and knowing that Wanda is controlling everything. So these people are aware that they are effectively inhabiting wax museum dummies. That's kind of what they are. They're just like, they're not in control of their own body. And in many cases, I don't even think that they know that they aren't, but it's just so interesting that they have these moments where they kind of break free because they're in pain. They're being forced to do something and live a life that's not theirs. And Wanda even hinted at how much control she has when she made the comment about getting people to the dentist on time. She's more or less micromanaging everybody's life in this town. The few hundred or a couple thousand people that live in Westview, she is controlling every facet of their existence and making sure that it's all functional, that it's all working. And I think there's the occasional slips, which is why we've seen some of the things that we've seen, is that it just becomes to be too much. But if Evan Peters is Mephisto, and if he is controlling it, and if he's now that person, because notice how he showed up right when they were having a big break, right when Vision was confronting Wanda. Wanda tried to end the episode. She tried to end Growing Pains, and he wouldn't let it end. He wouldn't let her take that control. Now here comes the brother to throw things off. Vision won't know who he is. Vision has no memory. She says, this is Pietro, this is my brother. He's not going to know. Crazy shit. Like, I love it. Never mind the other little facet there, the other little tidbit of information about Captain Marvel and Monica Rambeau's feelings towards Carol Danvers in Captain Marvel 2, because we already know she's going to be a part of it. It is clear that Monica Rambeau harbors some anger and resentment towards Carol Danvers, probably for leaving in the mid-90s and not returning until the blip. And in that particular, and she had no idea at the time until after she became a sword agent, until after she came back. No, maybe she did. Maybe Sword knew. I don't know. But it's clear that with Rambeau, with Marie Rambeau's death, her mother's death to cancer, that is something that she's going to weigh on her. Why didn't you come back? Why didn't you save her? That's going to be the resentment carrying forward into Captain Marvel 2. So Feige and company, they're laying the groundwork for Captain Marvel 2 already with a more interesting set of characters than the first movie. Let's be fair. and establishing this world, this TV show anomaly that is just it's wonderful to behold. You know, like it is emotional, it is funny, it is very reminiscent of 80s television. I'm very excited to see where it goes, and I just love both realities, our reality, her reality. And when they converge, especially in that scene when she came out dragging the drone and she was like, I'm not going to give you another warning. Go away. You know, like Wanda is trying, she doesn't want to hurt anybody, but she wants to be left alone. And I think that's going to be great because she's not like a psycho. Although I think that part might happen. Someone's going to get hurt, clearly. And it's going to, I mean, we already know, we can already see where it's going to end, but I think it's going to be very fascinating to see what happens next. Either way, I really like it. It's a good episode. What are your thoughts? What are your opinions? Let me know down in the comments section. I'll talk to you all later. Have yourself a great day. Thank you again for watching. Be sure to subscribe and like and all that jazz. And peace the hell out.